Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University and Scarlet, issue number 1. I think I understand what Bendis is doing with his life right now, though I'm not so sure what's happening here. Okay, let's get started with all this good stuff here. So Scarlet is created by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. They were the same guys who did the Daredevil and Invincible Iron Man stories back in the day. So letters, Joshua Reed, and the design was Curtis King Jr. Variant covered by Michael Gaydos. That was actually really cool. And Scarlet was modeled by Iva. IVA. Interesting. Oh, and Alicia Bendis is the publisher. There's a lot going on here. So this is a Jinx World publication. Obviously part of Bendis's contract with DC Comics for the 3 years he's going to be there, or more, is that he gets to do his own creator-owned stuff at the same time. And nice. I'm actually really happy for him. Really quick. This story itself is supposed to be of a girl named Scarlet who is talking to a TV camera, and I guess like there's square boxes when she's actually talking to the camera, and round boxes when she's talking to herself. Very interesting. Maybe, I guess. Here, see, like this one. There's sometimes when she's talking in a round bubble, but most times she's talking in the square. Everybody else is always talking in the round bubble. I don't fully understand why that happens. I guess it's like an out of character thing. I don't know. I don't know what that is exactly. I thought it was because she's talking to the TV, but some things she's not. I don't know. Whatever. Regardless, there's apparently some police corruption, a lot of police corruption that had gone on, and then she decides that she's going to take over the islands, the area of, oh, for crying out loud. I know what this is, but it's not Portsmouth, but Portland. There we go. Portland, Oregon. So still can't find. Oh, there we go. And there's this big greetings from Portland, Oregon thing over here, which is cool. It's kind of like the the greetings from Asbury Park thing. Yeah. So I don't know. For all intents and purposes, it seems okay. It's political revolution, but here's the thing. Most of what I just explained to you about the police corruption, her taking over and whatnot against the rebelling against the American government, I got that from the back of the book and the descriptions of the book. I didn't really understand hardly any of that from reading the comic book itself. There was way too much going on. Apparently she's a hero in the Portland, Oregon area. Okay. There was a drone strike. Some dude shows up. He's special forces, but completely unarmed. And he's like, yeah, the White House wants to know your demands. What? So it's a very weird comic book. Anyway, I think that what Bendis is doing is, after his, and I could be completely talking out of turn here, but I think that with his brush with death from that strand of MRSA that almost killed him, literally almost killed him, I think he decided that he's going to start working on his Jinx World projects and try and make as much creator-owned stuff as he can, so that these things can be optioned for movies and whatever, TV shows, so that he can take care of his family after he's gone. That's my personal take on this. I've never talked to anybody about this. Nobody, special and like Fan Expo or anything like that. Nobody. This is literally just my take on it. And God bless him if that's the case. Or whatever he's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? That's really cool. So I like that he's doing this. It's cool that it's kind of something that I think everybody's got to strive to do in some way, shape, or form. I was talking to Jim Zub a little bit about this at Fan Expo. Not this, but something like that. I want to do my own comic books, I told him, but I'm more interested in, playing in the playground with Marvel and maybe a little DC. But I really want to build up my own characters, and I'd have to do that at like Image or my own company. And he's like, yeah, you have to keep that balance. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, you want to be able to play, but you also got to eat. And he's like, I know that feeling. So, yeah, taking all that to heart, I understand what he's doing. Now, Bendis is doing a lot of work, and there's even more stuff coming out. Like, I read that, this comic, and I'm just like, okay, what else is going to happen now? Well, the story Cover is coming out pretty soon, a comic book cover artist, or artist, whatever, and she does some other crazy things, and all of a sudden they advertise this. United States vs. Murder Incorporated. So the 5 families of mafia are going to try and take over the United States because the United States is doing something wrong. All of these sound like great stories. I feel like I should wait for them to come to trade paperback. Because like this story, Scarlet, I was really anticipating this from the cover and everything. But what happens here does not happen in the comic book from my understanding, not quite. This looks like it could be amazing, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I just have to wait for it to get there. And I don't want to read issue by issue and forget everything, because this comic book by itself, easily forgettable. But I think that if I read it in the trade paperback format, I think it'll be very memorable. I don't know if this is the first appearance of her or not, though. There's all of this. I mean, that looks like a big, thick book called Scarlet with the same artists, same creators. So what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Did this already exist? Is this not a new character? Because if it's not, I think I need to know more. Anyway, I'll figure it out when I go back to the comic book store, if I remember to ask. All right, guys. Consider checking it out, or consider waiting for a trade. But this is definitely worth a look. All right. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.